Daniel Mumby here. I'm standing at the bottom of Digby Road here in Sherborne. It's a mild autumnal day, plenty of oranges and browns in the colour scheme, and we're here for Pack Monday in Sherborne, traditionally held on the first Monday after Michaelmas Day, which today falls today on October 16th. And like I say, at the bottom of Digby Road near the train station, more people arriving for this unique Sherborne tradition, where Cheap Street and most of the roads through the town centre are going to be closed throughout the day, and there are dozens of stall holders offering all manner of quirky and eccentric items, whether for gifts or just stocking up for yourself. And what I'm going to do for the next 20 minutes or so is take you on a walk throughout the whole of the town centre, and we'll chat to a few people. We'll point out some interesting little bits and pieces on the way. Like I say, we're at the bottom of Digby Road at the moment, and you can already see quite a few people milling around. It did take me a long time to get into Sherborne this morning, about half an hour longer than normal, and I suppose we should start really as we walk up Digby Road talking about the car parking situation and the road closures that are in place. Now, if you normally come into Sherborne on the A30, you will not be able to access Cheap Street itself. Half Moon Street is also completely closed, so my advice would be to follow the A352 down from the roadworks near the Barton Farm site, go over the level crossing where the railway station is, back over and park in the long stay car park at Culverhays. You can get 10 hours there for £3, so it's a pretty good deal if you're wanting to stay for the whole day. James Wood commenting there, I should buy something here and take it to the Antiques Roadshow, maybe get it valued. Well, you never know what you might find at this kind of event. We will put a link in the description once this Facebook Live is finished to our complete guide to Pack Monday, which we wrote last week. And there's also an opinion piece that I put out addressing some of the criticisms of the festival, which has been running non-stop for more than 300 years. We're going to be heading up towards the Abbey. We can get that first shot up there. And the Abbey is the whole reason for Pack Monday coming into existence. Tradition holds Pack Monday came into being as a holiday after the engineers, well, the medieval equivalent of engineers, if that's not the right term, after they finished work on the Abbey in 1490, if memory serves me correctly, packed up their tools, paraded through the streets and took a holiday, and it's evolved from there. Mike, thank you for commenting. I will try and bring back some sweets. We're kind of spoilt for choice for food as I pass the bison and venison place, Bushfarm Catering there. I will sort of point out the odd stalls that take my eye, and hopefully speak to a few people as well as we head towards the Abbey at the top end of Digby Road. The AA are here, of course, in force. So yeah, I would certainly allow a lot of time for getting into Sherborne if you're coming by car. There are extra train services being put on today as well, particularly in the evenings. If you go onto the South Western Railway website, you will find amended timetables on there as we pass the slushy bar. No, Elaine, it's not too crowded. Like I said, there were long queues coming in on the A30 today, but I've got some sort of room to swing a cat, as the old expression goes, as I mill around, and people already sort of wandering, keeping an eye out for bargains. As I was coming down Digby Road, I heard people saying they've come from as far as Hampstead in London. Whether that's traders or visitors is yet to be ascertained, but there's certainly a kind of lovely barbecue-y smell in the air as we pass the burger stand. I have just had breakfast, so I shall resist for now. I don't think anyone's tuning into Facebook to see me eat. If you are, then please comment below. A wolf fleece, Amy. I'll have to keep a lookout for that. Which bit of the Pack Monday fair do you think I would find a fleece on?
Shortbread today, that's 3 for £10 for Christmas. It's all got to be sold. Anybody like it today?
Classic market traders flogging shortbread there as we come up. Looks like we've got some superior pillows. Pillows spelt with an apostrophe for the plural though, so points off for that as we head up towards the Abbey itself, passing stall holders on our way through. Lots of pillows there, I see. Poppy rings and keys and brooches. You never really know what you're going to get with Pack Monday. It has a certain reputation, which I've covered in the opinion piece, but you never really know until you come here what you're going to find. It's one of the pleasures of it, I suppose. got some chocolate coated marshmallows there. There's even a peanut brittle flavour one. That's intriguing, if slightly too American for my taste. And looks like bulbs. Homemade fudge. I'm really having to resist just stopping and sampling everything, but I'm a journalist, not a food critic, so be that as it may. St John's ambulance folks are stationed out in case anything goes wrong. We're not expecting any trouble, of course, but then you never do. And Sherborne Abbey, like I say, it's not a gloomy day as such. It's overcast. Definitely feels autumnal. We are in mid-October after all, and I guess there's a half chance of rain with all those dark clouds overhead. I think there are fresh donuts to lane, but we haven't got to Cheap Street yet, so I'm expecting to find them at the bottom of Cheap Street at the conduit. And I wonder here, yes, I think I found a wool fleece. I think that's what Amy was on the lookout for. I'm not sure that would fit me though. I may have to come back for that. It's not just the stall traders that come for the day, of course, that benefit from Pack Monday. All the businesses on Sherborne's High Street will be open. Plume of Feathers, the pub, will be open a little bit later. Nobody drinks in the morning. And there are lots of restaurants around. I know that Oliver's at the top of Cheap Street, where we'll be going a little bit later, has been preparing for extra numbers, and there'll be plenty of outdoor seating, provided of course that the weather holds. Some sausages there later. Appropriate response, Amy. I haven't found any Christmas paper yet, but that's yeah, do comment if you want to give me a challenge. It's like the old Annika Rice show treasure hunt, but without the skydiving and the jumpsuit. Again, something I don't think you want to see me in this particular day. But let's move on. We've come to the end of Half Moon Street, and we've got some drug-free pain relief. There's quite a lot of alternative medicine, crystal, homeopathic stuff, which, if that's your bag, feel free. I'm not personally fussed by it. And sort of looking down South Street, plenty of food arteries. Designer perfume, Rachel. I have passed somewhere selling fragrances, like sort of discounted Hugo Boss and that sort of thing. Other brands are available, of course, but not perfume per se, so I'll keep looking for that. Tea towels, I wonder what we can find. And it's not all about adult provisions, of course. There's children's toys available as well. Remote control cars, model train sets. I don't know what fun snaps are, but they look intriguing. And people buying and selling things. Let's take a closer look at this, shall we? It's a really tantalising smell. It's a bit like being at the Gillingham and Shaftesbury show. You can't wander a few hundred yards without wanting to eat. So it's a good thing I filled up on breakfast early this morning. As we head up Cheap Street, we've got a sort of outdoor restaurant that's been set up right next to the conduit, with what was the Cross Keys pub just behind it. And outdoor furniture being sold. I think we'll take a stroll up to the top of Cheap Street as we try and chat to people. But yeah, it's reasonably busy so far for first thing on a Monday morning. I think this is a good sign. Well, Karen, if you've never been, I guess today is the chance to try it. If you've never come out and had a look around. And we've got some nice wood carvings there. Walking sticks. I'm going to need one in a few years, the way I'm going. Just having a quick look inside. Even some pirate-themed stuff there. That's rather fetching. Plenty of t-shirts and hats on offer as people still setting up their stalls. Not everyone arrives at the same time, of course. You will get various bits and pieces showing up later in the day, and the fair tends to last until around 5 or 6 before people start packing up. The important thing is to get here whilst you can, in case you miss out on something quirky or unusual or eccentric. And like I say, all the various businesses starting to open up. There is a butcher in Sherborne itself, but I'm not sure, Marilyn, whether we're going to find one actually on the street. So we will keep an eye out. So we're looking for a butcher and a tea towel. And thank you very much indeed for commenting, Louise. And it's a shame you couldn't be with us today as we pass 62 Cheap Street, which will become a coffee shop of some description. we'll have the full story on that later in the day. People being kept out of the rain. Yeah, we're actually not that far from Parsons the Butcher as we head up Cheap Street. Again, I'm just giving you a general impression of what's going on. Cheap Street, a nice gentle gradient. It's not too steep to walk, otherwise they would have called it Steep Street, but and that's as close as I'm going to get to a decent joke, so maybe I should just stop now. Bit of gorillas in the background. Not sure we'll track that down, Zoe, but I will keep an eye out just in case. Somebody's selling scarves on the side there. As we head up towards the middle of Cheap Street, there's a distinct smell of charcoal in the air. I wonder if someone's barbecuing some food. As we head past Maber's towards the post office. Ah, that'll be it. It's a hog roast. I expect there's a pig under there. Thanks again for all your comments. Keep them coming. We are continuing to sort of hunt for tea towels and authentic butchery. And do feel the need to sort of drop down any requests that you may have. If I can find everything on the list, then I will. As we head up past some bracelets and some earrings, past the Mountain Warehouse, and next to it, fittingly, somebody selling shoes. The familiar sound of generators whirring in the background, keeping all of these ticking over. And Oxford's taking some initiative. The bakery behind there has got their own stall right outside, so nobody can compete with them. And those croissants and pain au chocolat do look delicious. There's even some retro gaming there. That looks to me like the old, it's either the NES or the SNES, for those 80s and 90s gaming enthusiasts to you. And we've got crafty ciders. In fact, I think I'm going to have a word with Toby here. Good morning. You're live on Facebook. Say hello to our Somerset Live viewers here.
Hello, how are you?
We're good. Introduce yourself.
I'm Toby from Harry Cider. Here from 9 o'clock till 10 PM this evening.
Excellent.
So yeah, we've got a range of cider. We've got a mulled cider today. First mulled cider outing of the season. So yeah.
Excellent. It's a bit too soon for me to have a tipple, I think, but you're going to be here for the whole day.
Yeah.
And offering little samples. How much would it cost for a bottle of your cider?
$3.50 for a bottle, or we got a gift back to $12.50.
Excellent.
Or free samples just to keep yourself going.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Could come in useful very later in the day, because I hear it's going to get colder.
Yeah.
Best of luck, Toby.
Cheers, Daniel.
Harry Cider Company there, based in Long Sutton on the Somerset Levels, award-winning brand. Nice to see that Zoe shares my opinions on the SNES, one of Nintendo's better games consoles. I grew up with the Nintendo 64, which was never quite as good, GoldenEye notwithstanding. No clowns as yet, Peter. I suspect they'll be along a little later in the day, but I will keep my eyes peeled. Hosiery stand there, and novelty clocks. Betty Boop and John Wayne on show. Now, I wonder if we'll find tea towels. There are certainly throws and blankets, but I'm not seeing anything at the moment. And more lovely bready things as we move up past Oliver's Coffee House, which is already teeming full of people. That's encouraging to see. As we head up to the top of Cheap Street, again that sort of clatter of a diesel generator. You'll have to excuse me if I have to shout over this, but it's the only way you can hear me. It's quite a racket at this top end of town. As we pass what was Cuba, it's now moved further down the high street, of course. Zoe, this is not Dick and Dom. I'm not going to shout bogey in the middle of Sherborne. It's not the kind of attention I want, if that's all right with you. But you're welcome to come and do it yourself, as I avoid getting run over. Oh, he's letting me through. That's good. Apologies there. You take your life into your hands when doing Facebook Live in the middle of town, even when the roads are closed. And as we head up to the top of Cheap Street onto the Green, past the White Hart, which will be open later, and the George as well. A lot of pubs at this end of Sherborne. I wouldn't say it looks dead, Martin. It's still relatively early days. A lot of people have arrived in rush hour, but we suspect things will pick up a lot around lunchtime. Lovely cheeses on offer, big old-fashioned pies as well. Very tempted to grab one of those, actually. Lovely bacon hamburgers. That's my vague importance of being earnest impression. Welcome, Glenn Pittman, watching all the way from Australia. I'm trying to work out whether you've stayed up late or woken up very early to see this. I think it must still be late, but I could be wrong with that. Well, Zoe, I can give you at least 3 reasons. It's a chance to experience a very unique tradition that, like I say, has been running for more than 3 centuries. It's a chance to find products that you would never normally find, especially in Yeovil. And it's also, most importantly, a great way to meet new people. You know, people who've come from all over the area, some specifically for the day, some to meet up with old friends whom they would never otherwise see. And there's a sort of blood red moon up there as well. I think it's the moon anyway. No, that could be the sun. I'm an idiot. 7:50 p.m. That's good. Thank you for clarifying as well, Glenn. So now that I've given you a kind of overview of what's going on, I still haven't found tea towels, but I think we're going to count that stall over there as fresh butchery, so it's only tea towels to get, unless of course you want to send me any more concerts. And we're going to see if we can speak to a few people on our way back down. Just taking a look. A lot of smaller stalls, of course. Just taking a look. Parking is tricky, but not impossible. As I said at the start of this Facebook Live, I parked in the Culverhays long stay near the station. You can get trains in and out of Sherborne every hour, and there are going to be extra services run in the evening if you're staying all day. It'll cost you no more than a few quid return. So that's certainly an option if you want to avoid shelling out for lots of parking all day. Heading back down Cheap Street now. Taking care not to get run over. We did see a butcher, Marilyn. It was up there. I guess it depends what you mean by quality, Emma. Perhaps if you're a little more specific, I'd be able to answer your question, but it sounds like a matter of opinion to me. There's certainly the odd Christmassy stall. And yes, Amy, you'll find phone cases. I think that's one thing you're pretty much guaranteed to get at Pack Monday. If you look in the right places, and hopefully when this video is over you can scroll back through, and if there's anything I failed to point out, you can find it for yourself, as I'm attracted to that enormous Peppa Pig style throw over there. Plenty of security wandering around as well. You're welcome, Marilyn. And good to see a lot of the cafes opening up as well. We mentioned Oliver's and Oxford's. We'll point out others where we can. There's people milling around. We do expect it to fill up later in the day. A diamond tiara might be a bit of a tall order, but there is crystal available. Certainly little bits of crystal to hang on your neck or place at the bottom or place on your mantelpiece. I'm not sure about a tiara. I've not been to the fun fair yet, Martin. I'm saving that for a little bit later. Just bringing you a little snapshot, really, for the moment. Thank you for pointing that out, Tubbs. We will put a link in the comments to our Everything You Need to Know About Pack Monday piece, which includes a brief synopsis of the history of this fair and how it came about. Phone cases there, if you are asking. And as we head back down, as the wind picks up a little bit, it is not chilly, it's just quite briskly mild. I think that would be the distinctly English way of putting it. A lot of people sort of milling around, some having a browse, some in more of a hurry as we come through. Hopefully making sure we don't get in anybody's way.
Oh yeah.
Diabetic socks. I wonder if they're like sort of compression socks that you get on aeroplanes. And plenty of Halloween stuff as well, because of course that's just around the corner. Halloween seems to take over the whole of October these days, just as Christmas seems to start in the middle of August for some places. And beautiful floral displays. It's not that long ago since we had Sherborne in bloom, of course. And, of course, lots of sweets. Lots of very sugary sweets, which I'm going to tastefully but rapidly avoid as we head back down Cheap Street. Thank you, Sabrina. Like I say, it's not held on the same day every year. It's always held on the first Monday after Michaelmas Day. So always falls on the Monday after October the 10th, so in this year it's the 16th. I think you can work out in your head what year it will fall on next year. Emma's very happy about the sweets. I will try and bring some back for the Somerset Live office, but I am working from Sherborne all day today, so they may have to wait a little while. Nice to see people milling around, meeting each other. Up towards Cheap Street Church there, just offering refreshments as well. Lovely bit of architecture. And as I walk back down Cheap Street, past the junction with Hound Street, it is starting to fill up at this end of town. Tends to be the busier end, at least early on, from my experience. Reeve the Baker, not long in Sherborne. There's something for everyone's tastes here, I think. Just get back on the pavement. I'm not taking orders for dolly mixtures for everyone, Trina. I think I would run out of money real fast given how many people are watching this stream. But you're more than welcome to come down and help yourself to some. Paramedics just milling around, making sure everyone's okay. Ah, well, this is one that hadn't opened when we last came out. It's the Great British Cavalry. Again, I'm just giving you a whistle-stop tour. I'm quite aware that some people are on a mission to find that one particular thing. So I think we'll get to the bottom of Cheap Street. Aha! And we found the one thing that always characterises Pack Monday, and that is helium balloons. There is a helium balloon seller at the corner of Cheap Street and Long Street, selling a variety of children's characters, Disney stuff, bit of SpongeBob, some Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol there. Something for everyone. We should point out, incidentally, that it is no longer legal to release helium balloons on any public land in West Dorset. So by all means buy a helium balloon, but make sure you hang on to it and don't buy loads of them and release them en masse, otherwise you may find yourself in trouble. So I think that gives you a pretty good flavour of what's going on. I've counted 2 scarf stands so far, Emma, but I'm not I may have missed one down the bottom of Digby Road. There are still stall holders setting up, and Tasha wants to have a look at the catering trailer again, and there we go. There's plenty of them around, and I shall be sampling one of those later in the day, but I think it's far too early for lunch, and I think we're just going to leave that there. I've given you a little flavour of Pack Monday. Hopefully that's given you an insight as to what this quirky Sherborne event is like, and maybe given you an incentive to come down and shop here yourself. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for joining us here on Somerset Live. We will put links to the Everything You Know About Pack Monday piece in the Facebook description. And thank you very much for joining me here on Somerset Live.